So, Death March Episode 1 came out today. It's a new series from the Winter of Anime 2018, and it's a part of the genre of being transported to an alternate world, or in this case, to go a little bit further, transported to an alternate world, which is inside of a game. Now, this concept, the setting of this series, is something that we've grown rather accustomed to. We see something like this almost every single anime season, ever since the dawn of, Sword Art Online, when it became very popular and all that. We have been constantly seeing series like this in terms of just being transported to an alternate reality or being transported to inside of a game. Something like this is very common. It's nothing out of the ordinary. So many might look at the description of this series or me talking about it right now and automatically choose to say, you know what, I'm going to skip the show because it doesn't sound like anything new, anything unique, and so I'm just going to drop it. And in a lot of ways, I can understand that. But at the same time, though, just because the setting or concept of a series is very similar and sounds like something we've seen so many times over, doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be a bad series. Now, let's give a little bit more clarification. Why should you give this series a chance to see if you like it for yourself? So, number one, what separates this from the normal, transported to an alternate world type game, or, series or whatever, what we have going on here is that the main male character, he's transported into the game, and automatically he's basically broken. Now, I know this concept also isn't relatively completely original nowadays, ever since the dawn of One Punch Man and some other alternate reality, like transport to an alternate world type series. For instance, Overlord, big example from this anime season. It's something that's became rather the norm recently. I mean, having an overpowered main character, and that's kind of what we got with this story. However, there is something that is very interesting about Death March's first episode that kind of warranted me wanting to talk about it, and why I might even continue watching this series because of how the first episode was done. So much of the first half of Death March, the first episode, is spent focusing on the real world. For instance, let's say our world, okay? It's spent on the main male character's world, and him basically being a programmer. Yes, he is a programmer. He's a guy that makes games, he programs games, he's basically someone that, gets rid of bugs, decodes things, stuff like that. He's a programmer. That's the best summary I can give to the character of the main story of this series of Death March. He's a programmer. And much of the first half is him basically squashing bugs, fixing all these little problems and stuff, before the game could finally be released to the market. And we also have it to where he has to figure out a way to make the game also easier, like this game called, Warfront or War Game or whatever it's called. I forget the exact title of it, but he's got to figure out a way to make the game for new players, beginners, and also make it fun for people that are experienced and want to challenge themselves or get good, so to say, or, play a game that's similar or just like Dark Souls. You get my point there. So basically, he's a programmer. He has to fix things, he has to decide game choices and decisions for where the game is going to go. And like I said, the first half of the episode is spent on that, and I can see many maybe not liking that aspect because it might have felt a little bit too slow for them. But overall, I do like that because it kind of gives us clarification to what happened in the second half of the episode. So right off the bat, once the first half is done, our main male character, he's been spending a couple of days, staying up all night, working on the games and all that, kind of getting rid of bugs, just trying to squash bugs. And he finally goes to sleep after 4 days. He passes out in his workplace, which I'm not going to get into that. I've talked about, Japan's workplaces for a long time now. But basically, he passes out in his workspace, and he goes to sleep for the first time in many days. When he wakes up into an alternate reality, which is inside of the game. And from his description of what he gives us, apparently the two games he was working on, the mobile MMORPG, and then this new game or whatever, they apparently fused together. They were both fused basically into the same world. Functions from both games were in one, and he explained that in the second half as soon as it started. And also when he looked at himself, apparently he is a younger version of himself. He is no longer like how his adult self was when he was a programmer. He's much younger looking. Now automatically, as soon as this starts, he thinks he's in a dream. And it's a typical thing you see in a series like this, and that could still possibly be the case. Maybe he's in some form of coma, maybe he's asleep, something like that could potentially happen. I mean, the game's mixing together, the man was up for multiple days and all that. It's obvious that he could probably have a very good dream, and that could be what this story is. Regardless, though, he basically realizes that he is definitely not in the right world anymore. And he tries to figure out what to do, and eventually he discovers that he has the 3 meteors which he wanted to put into the game to make it easier for new players. And he launches them down at this incoming army coming at him, which had, I think he said 300 lizardmen were coming at him or something like that. He said 300 enemies were coming at him. And he launched these meteors, which was supposed to be for new players and all that. He launched them down, and it decimated this entire army charging him right off the bat. And as soon as I saw that, I was thinking, like, this man just leveled up to 310. That is broken. Because, let me explain something. Apparently, from what he explained is that both games were mixed into one. Okay. And that means that the 3 items he was given was most likely the items he was going to put in for the new players. And they decimated an army that was level 50 plus, and he was only level 1. And he automatically jumped to 310. Do you not see something wrong with that game design right there? There's something very wrong with that game design. There is a very exploitable bug, if you get my drift. And so I'm like, okay. Either A, our main male character is really bad with programming, okay? He's really bad with programming, or this dream just, oh my. But I do like the fact that the reason why he most likely got up to level 310 is most likely because of an exploit and also abusing the system of the game to get that high up. That's what I am assuming. I have seen games like this to where, like, you play a game, you start off as a level 1, and if you go up against a higher level opponent or whatever, and you defeat them with your other high level character, okay, let me back up real quick, let me explain with better details. So let's say I have a party, okay, I have a party of 4 or whatever, I'm in an RPG, and I'm, let's say, level 99. Let's say 99 is the max level, okay? 99 is the max level, and I have 3 other people with me that are all level 1s. Well, I'm going to decide to fight this level 90-something creature, and basically one-shot it, because I'm that strong. As soon as I one-shot that creature, everybody that is around me, depending on how the game is, they could potentially level up to like level 80-something or 90-something because of how the XP system works in the game. And so that can be exploited to where you can boost yourself very quickly. It is in some games. Something like this does happen every so often in games. I have personally seen it since I love RPGs and I love MMORPGs. I have personally seen this. And so when you see that happen, I'm like, he obviously abused the system right there. He wiped out a bunch of like lizardmen and stuff and automatically ranked up that high. He found a bug and he abused it. So apparently there is bugs in this world. There actually is glitches and bugs and stuff that he can use, which is very fascinating. It's actually something very different from the normal, transported to an alternate world inside of a game. It's very different, and I do like that fact about this. But anyways, besides all of that though, he also showcases some certain things that really makes me question the game design. Now, I know it's a little bit off topic, and it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things of, Death March's anime, but it's just something I gotta nitpick on, just because, as a person that plays a lot of games, seeing something like that, like an MMORPG, that kind of makes me a little bit upset. So, apparently, this man had to use precious talent points, or, points that he gets for his character points. He had to put it into the language class skill. Now, I do know something like this, it does happen in other MMOs. I have seen this. WoW actually has a system kind of like this, and I'm just like, what? Like, the man had to fully upgrade the language system for a certain faction just to be able to understand them, and that's multiple levels, and I'm thinking to myself, like, that would make me angry. That is a game I probably wouldn't play, just for that reason. I mean, it would be kind of immersive in a way, but at the same time, though, judging by how this is based off of an MMORPG on the mobile game, like a mobile app and all that, and then also another game mixed together, I want to assume all of those little upgrades are probably behind a paywall. They probably have some paywalls to kind of speed up the progress. I'm looking at you, EA, and so I'm like, that would bug me. That would definitely bug me to where I would probably drop the game if I saw something like that. If I had to pay or something, or play that long just to be able to talk or speak to other people of different factions, that would make me angry. And so I'm like, that is a very, very, very poorly designed game design right there. Like, that's poorly made. So, yeah. Anyways, getting off of that, okay? That's my little inner gamer talking there. Let's talk about, the other stuff. So, overall, from the plot, there really isn't much plot, so to say. The only thing we really know is that the main male character is broken. He is just going to go on an adventure trying to figure out what's going on, and basically, he just he's able to take so much damage, do whatever he wants. He has a lot of gold. I mean, this man is basically at in-game status. He can do anything he wants. He doesn't need to worry at all. So he's broken, and that's basically the story so far. And it seems interesting, but at the same time, though, with another series coming from this anime season, which is called Overlord, and it's season 2, and it already has a very big established fan base, I feel like this series is going to suffer. I'm not going to say this series is bad, and I might still continue watching it, but I could definitely see a lot of people not wanting to watch this series, especially since it has a lot of similarities to Overlord. It's not exactly, but it does have a lot of similarities, especially with the setting of it, and I could see many just throwing this under the rug or sweeping it under the rug just because it's just like, it's nothing different. And I could see many just saying, like, Overlord's gonna, overshadow this series and it's just gonna fall into, nothingness. I could definitely see that. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoy my content. Please subscribe if you like this video. Please leave a like. And one last thing to mention before I end this video. If you want to get notified whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button down below, because if you click that, every time I upload a video, you'll get notified, because for some reason, when you click the subscribe button, it doesn't mean you'll get notified all the time. So if you're one of those individuals that, are waiting for a video upload from me, and you're not getting notified, make sure you click the bell icon. Now, if you don't care about me, you don't care about, clicking the bell icon for me, at the very least, do it for the other YouTubers you care about. At least do it for them. Do it for them, because it does help them out. So I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.